everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Medieval Reader. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about my place in Booktube and my experience. And this is something that I realized in the past couple months as I've been making my videos on the Middle Ages, on the Renaissance, really any of my content-based videos. I have had to think about what I'm doing, who's my audience, and how my content is received. And I just wanted to share kind of my reflections on this because I feel like my experience on Booktube is slightly different than others' experience on Booktube. And this is mostly my fault. I don't want to say fault, but it was my choice. I decided to make the content that I'm making. But it is something that maybe you guys haven't thought about. I know that I didn't expect to have to deal with some of these questions when I first started making these videos. If you hear something in the background, it's a fan. It's just really hot here, so I have a fan running. Hopefully it's not too distracting. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the different kind of content I make. So when I started Booktube about a year and a half ago, maybe now it's 2 years, I really don't know. Actually, I think it is 2 years. I wanted to make some medieval Renaissance videos. I am the medieval reader, but I thought, okay, I will also talk about the books that I read every month, and people will be attracted to those, to that content, and then they will stay for the medieval Renaissance stuff. As it turns out, people following my channel kind of expect me to make content about the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, which I am more than happy to do because that is ultimately why I started this channel. So I stopped kind of making wrap-up videos. Also, I didn't like wrap-ups because I simply do not read as many books as most booktubers do every month. I will read maybe like a couple books a month. That's because I am reading a lot of other things, articles, chapters in books, etc. So I'm reading a lot, but not really completing many books. So I didn't want to do wrap-ups, and I kind of tried doing wrap-ups on my blog, and that hadn't really worked out because, again, I just didn't like having to make certain content at certain times of the month. I like the freedom of being able to make content whenever I want to. And so this has been perfect. Yeah, so about, I think, a year into the channel, some people were like, you're the medieval reader, but this book that you just read was written in the 20th century, so, what's up with that? And then I got some suggestions for me to make some videos about the Middle Ages, and I thought, okay, I can do a weekly one. Well, as it turns out, making a weekly one would have been really challenging, and I wanted to do a good job, so I have been making videos every few weeks, and I think it's adequate. I haven't heard anybody complaining, and I really enjoy making these videos, like I said. But one of the things that I noticed is that I have this responsibility to do a really good job. And this is not to say that other booktubers don't do a good job or that they don't have to plan and script and edit. No, I mean, many booktubers I think probably spend more time than I do on their videos because, their camera quality is good, their editing is better, etc., etc. But what I mean is that I have had a friend who found one of my videos on YouTube. She was looking up The Knight and the Cart by Chrétien de Troyes, who was a 12th century poet, and she found my video, and I stand behind everything that I put out. But it occurred to me that because I make videos on topics that not a lot of people talk about, let alone make videos about, my video is going to be the one that comes up, which means that professors, colleagues who are looking up something are more likely to find my material. Not only that, but my most popular video is on Plato's Symposium. I mean, it is by far my most popular video, and I'm glad it's been really, really helpful for people. I really think it is one of my best videos that I've made. Thankfully, it is one of my best videos that I've made, because if I wasn't careful, I would have been communicating false information. And so I have to be really careful that I present this content in the best way that I can, that I have really done my research, that everything I'm saying is clear and it is something that I would be able to stand behind. You know, so that's a huge responsibility, and it's one that I have assumed. This is totally on me. It's not on anybody else. Nobody has told me that I am sending out false information. Some people have corrected things that they think are false, which I really, really do encourage you to do. But this is just something that has occurred to me as I've been preparing to make videos on a wide range of topics that I think that I have a good background in and would be able to talk about. Still, I have to script, I have to think about what I'm doing. It's really the content that I have to be careful about, because I become the voice of medieval Renaissance history, literature on YouTube in some ways. Now, there are channels that are dedicated to history that are phenomenal. Like these historians, basically what are known as public historians, will go to these countries and visit the castles and show you everything. And those are amazing, and I would definitely recommend that you check some of these out. My favorites are unfortunately in French. I will link some below, but I will see if I can find some in English that I can recommend. But still, you know, I am making educational content, so I have to be careful that I present material in the right way. But then there's this other part to my channel where I read books for the very first time. And this is why I really insist that I'm a booktuber, because booktube is about reading books and kind of talking about your first impressions of the book. And while, you know, my spotlight videos are definitely more than a first impression, I think that I do have a good enough background in the topic that I can talk about it, and so I wouldn't say that they are authoritative, but at the same time, they, you know, come from a fair amount of background in the topic. Other works like Marco Polo's Travels, Ariosto's Orlando Furioso, which I just finished, a video will be coming up. Those are books that I had never read before. And so, you know, they're my first impressions, they're my experience of reading these books, because this channel is also an opportunity for me to read the books that I have put off reading for years, that I've been meaning to get to. And so I will make, you know, maybe a series of videos about that book, and I'll put it out there. And the thing is, because those books are also fairly obscure, and because someone is looking up, you know, Marco Polo, they're going to come across my videos. There is, again, this, oh, well, what if I say something wrong? And this is more of an issue with something like The Travels or Orlando Furioso, because this is my first time reading those works. I really want this channel to be kind of this two-way experience of me educating you and then me educating myself, of me learning all these things that I don't know, and there's so much. I have received so many recommendations from you all, from fiction like the Catfile mystery to different nonfiction, and I, you know, want to make sure that I am being as honest with you as possible about what I do know and what I don't know and what I am still learning about. And of course, the things that I do know are still things that I'm still learning about. I am a PhD student, and as a PhD student in French, who actually predominantly works on the Renaissance, I mostly work on the 16th century, on trials and courts and martyrology, a lot of Reformation history. I do some late medieval, which is the reason why I call myself the medieval reader. Also, because when I started this channel, I thought I would be mostly working on the Middle Ages, and as it turns out, I now mostly work on the Renaissance. But I am an apprentice. I'm someone who's learning how to, you know, understand this field. I'm in the process of trying to, you know, figure out what kind of articles I want to be publishing. I need to continue to improve my writing, etc. This channel has really helped me practice my oral communication. As you can see, I'm definitely a lot better at communicating in front of a camera than I was even a few months ago, so I have found this to be a really good experience on that end as well. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to say that my experience is a bit unique, and that I want to be as honest with you as possible, that there are unique challenges that I face in that I make educational content alongside content where I'm educating myself and kind of just, you know, vlogging the experience, so to speak. And I like, you know, joining in Booktubeathon which is called something else this year. But in any case, I'm very excited to join in this year. And I'm not very good at read-alongs, but that's one that I really enjoy participating in and I get really involved in. And I hope that you will stick around. I will be making those videos that deal with mostly the Renaissance, but some late medieval history, literature. I have a lot of ideas. I just need to take the time, make sure that this is stuff that I could stand behind before I put it out for you. Always, always, always feel free to comment down below if I get anything wrong. Like, do not be afraid of offending me. Just let me know if there's something that I've gotten wrong. You guys probably have background in things that I don't, and you can fix my mistakes, especially if they are not spotlight videos. Actually, especially if they're spotlight videos. I mean, if I do a spotlight video on something and you think something is wrong, put that down below, I will pin it, or you can email me or whatever. I want to make sure that this is a community and that we're always helping each other learn. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.